Thank you. Thank you so much, Raina. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Leigh Bella Ralston, also known as Mommy Leigh on the internet. I I am super actually very thrilled to do this class with you guys. I specifically didn't do my vision board. Okay, maybe I should have started with that. Today's class, we're going to be doing a vision board for our 2022. Can you believe it's already 2022? I'm seriously cannot. We're on a trip at this moment, so everything just kind of it hasn't hit me yet that we're already starting a brand new year. But now that I'm sitting with you guys and just kind of pausing and everything is just kind of slowing down on my end, and then it's just kind of slowly hitting me that yes, we are in a brand new year, and it's amazing. I feel like it was just yesterday when we did this class as well. We did a vision board class last year for the year of 2021. I know that the year, 2020, 21, and it has not been very easy. There's a lot of things, sad, unfortunate events that's going on around the world. And a lot of us lost so many loved ones. And, I know that personally myself. But, it's easy to say that let's let's just face it, face forward. And I think that's the only way to do it is really just face everything forward, whether it's personal, whether it's your career. If you're here today, then I know that you're very interested in building a vision board. This is a class that I'm passionate about, not just the class, but the whole vision board thing, because it has worked wonders for me. And so I'm super passionate about it, just sharing with you what worked for me and what's working, and what are the things that I prepped myself when working with vision board, because it's not really just about drawing flowers in our notebooks to make our vision board pretty and all that, but this is really all about gathering our thoughts and preparing ourselves for the brand new year ahead. So I am going to switch over to my overhead camera and I'll show you some part of my planners. It might be a little personal, but you know what? You're here and I am very um, close with you, and I'm grateful for you for attending our classes here. So in behalf of Faber-Castell, we're going to get this class started and let's create our vision board for 2022. All right. Here we go. Okay, so I have here in front of me, it may look a little bit different because I'm in a different setup. I am actually broadcasting live from San Diego. I'm in Mission Beach right now, so you might hear a little bit of noises. I think someone's picking up the trash outside. So, but I was looking at the chat earlier, and we have a lot of friends here. So Shauna is from Connecticut. We have friends from Florida, Minnesota, San Antonio, Texas, Los Angeles. Hey, Miriam, you're close to me. Virginia. We have friends from Idaho. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, and that truck is really loud. And it has a perfect timing too. Okay, so for this class, I didn't specifically pick colors for you because I wanted you to choose your own color palette. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you want some warm palette or cool palette. Today's class, I'll be using my favorite Faber-Castell PITT Artist Pens, and I'll be working with different tips today. So I have some small or super fine, I'm sorry, the S tip, which is the super fine. The F is your fine tip. And then I'll be working a lot with the brush tip as well. And for this class, there's no type of notebook you're going to need. Really, when we talk about bullet journal or just a vision board, if you're not going to use it in your journal or in your notebook, you just want to create like a big page, you can absolutely do that. And you can frame it or tape it on your wall so you can see it every day. When we talk about vision board, what is it really? Because this is my bullet journal for the last couple of months of the year, but I have a little spare here so we can use it as a scratch and we can talk about the vision board. Okay, so I was mentioning earlier, vision board is something that worked for me for the past couple of years. This is where I kind of gather all my thoughts. before I face the new year. So 2022, whether you're here for your personal or your career or for home, let us do that. Let us categorize everything first. I want you to have a separate place for home, for your career or your work, and then personal or your well being, because those are the things to me personally that matters to me. Because whether I am successful at work, but mentally I am not in the right place and I'm not happy, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it doesn't go, but everything goes hand in hand. I have to be healthy mentally to tackle all my goals for my career and my work for the year. So let us do that. Let's categorize everything. Now, bullet journal is a whole different story. You know, you're gonna search that if you use the hashtag bullet journal on online, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You're gonna see a whole lot of many different types of notebook. And if you're new to bullet journal, I want to know in the chat section if everybody's familiar with the bullet journal system. The bullet journal system is actually originally created by writer Carol Writer. Oh my gosh. He's probably going to be upset with me. Oh, Ali said she is new to this world. Okay, bullet journal. At first, when I saw people doing bullet journaling, and I'm like, do I need all those markers? Do I need all the paints and the watercolors? What kind of notebook do I need? To be completely honest with you, bullet journaling works with any notebook, a composition notebook, any pen or a pencil, because it is you that's going to make that bullet journal work, not the other way around. Does that make sense? I thought it is the bullet journal that's going to work for me, but actually it is the opposite. The bullet journal or your journal is just another tool for you. So for this specific class, basically my vision board, I use it on my planner, and this is my planner for 2022. Now, you don't have to have this planner. It's just that through the years, this is the type of planner that worked for me personally. This is called the Hobonichi planner, but a plain notebook will work just as well. Because I do a lot of social media content, I really do a lot of planning. And as you can see here, I have like a year overview, yearly overview, birthdays, anniversaries, and stuff like that. That I have all my bills, my kids' schedules. I have my content, due dates, and stuff like that. So we have monthly. And then I do have a weekly portion as well, because I have all the breakdowns of all of my plan of all the things that I need to accomplish for the whole week. And then this planner also comes in with a daily page. And the daily page is where I put in my journal notes, like for example, what I did for the day, simple things like that. Or I have like a lot of brain dump. Brain dump is something that you're going to hear me a lot when it comes to planning, is because sometimes there's things that comes in your head and you're like, you know what, I need to remember this. So if I put it down, for example, on the 12th of January, I know when I originally thought about it, this is something that just, if it's an idea, whether it's an idea or whether it's a task that I need to put in my week, then I put it here on my daily. But most of the time, I use my daily as my journaling. I love, love, love journaling, because journaling is something that is helping me stay mentally healthy because of all the tasks, being a mother, of all the responsibilities of a wife, of a mom, and doing a lot of contents online and social media. I need an outlet for myself because I do a lot of art. um, this type of journaling is something that I do for myself, and it's not something for social media posting. I hope that I'm making sense. All right, so we have some comments here on in the chat section. So Donna said that I have a planner but not a bullet journal. Yes, absolutely. Any stores you can pick up notebooks from Michael's. They have some dot grid journals like this, and that's my favorite type of journal, is a dot grid. And so if you go to your local Michael's, or you can order it online, they have this dot grid notebooks, and that works for me really, really great too. Okay, so I'm going to flip through this notebook so you can just have an idea of what you can do in your bullet journal. Okay, so I have, I always start with intention or something that a quote that I can look back into, and something that when I flip through my notebook, I see it in there. It's something positive. Here it says one of the most responsible things that you can do as an adult is to become more of a child, and that's from Dr. Wayne Dyer. I really love that because every time I flip through it, you're going to see a whole lot of stickers in here simply because this is my type of planning. This works for me. Now, this might not work for you. It's not for everybody. For some people out there might be a little too much, you know, sometimes it's hard to see the task, the breakdown and everything like that. So it's always like what works for you may not work for the other, but you can always find inspiration from something. So that's my goal for today is for you to find some inspiration here that you can take with you and that you can use it for your own type of planning. All right. Thank you so much. Jay said, what if you already bought a ready one? That is absolutely fine because this is what I'm going to use today, the ready planner. So I have here the month of January. So it's in your planner, you have like a blank page. Okay. So it doesn't have to be dated. So if you have a planner or a journal that's already just blank in the front, it's always for me personally the best place to do a vision board because it's something that you're going to open and you'll see it right then and there. Now, let's talk a little bit about vision boards. What are the things? Because I've mentioned that it worked for me before. Okay, so what are the things that worked for me in my vision board? When you work on your vision board, sometimes, you know, other people like to call this the law of attraction, you know, the secret. I'm sure you've heard that before. Um, yes. B. Decker said, can I use a blank piece of paper? Absolutely, you can. You can tape this on your wall and that will work as well. It doesn't have to be in a notebook. And that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. Okay, so when we talk about vision board, I want you to kind of close your eyes just for 1 second. You know, stay with me here. I want you to close your eyes and really look at the whole picture. I want you to see what is your dream? What is it that you want to accomplish for the year of 2022? And I want you to do categorize that for home. For example, if you're a student, you know, I want to have a better habit when it comes to cleaning my bedroom. As simple as that. Or if you're a mother, I want to be better at, you know, taking more me time for myself. You know, I want to wake up at certain morning. You know, I want to lose weight. I want to gain weight. I want to build a habit of being healthy. I want to start prepping my own meals. Or, you know, I want to start a new business this year. Or I want to be discovered and, you know, have my business much more successful. So all those things, these are our goals in life. But I want you to have a category of home, your personal, not as a mom, not as a wife, not as a daughter, not as a husband, you know, but just for you personally as a person. What are your goals? You know, picture that in your head, and that's what we're going to do today. But of course, today's class is all about creativity too. So this is really not just all about planning, but I thought it's very important to mention all these things before we start creating and using our fun supplies. Okay, so when I was talking about earlier about vision board, what are the things that worked for me? Well, guess what? When I was first doing my vision board, I remember, you know, really dreaming about one day doing and working with a big company that I can represent and be known for what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I love being creative. And this is something that I truly enjoy every day. And that dream came true for me, you know. So I designed some stickers and it's available on, you know, through Michaels. So I found myself a picture in Michaels. I walked in the store. I remember bringing some of my drawings and my cute stickers and dreaming and visualizing that one day all of these designs of mine are going to be in Michaels. And I'm kidding you not, all of those came true for me. So this is something that I want you to believe in, because not just the vision board. I want you, what's more important, I want you to believe in yourself. It's never too old. Trust me, this is a new career for me. My first career was being a performer, and now I am an artist. So I don't care if you're 13 years old, 11, 24, 32, 49, 62, 72. There is no age. You can always do whatever it is that you want to do. We only have one life, and I want you to live the most of it, okay? Okay, so now that you've pictured all that dream, we're going to start making our page pretty. Oh, Mary, I'm so glad. Jay, you're 10. Yes, I have a daughter and she's 11. And this is something that we like doing together. I want her to do her vision board with me because I want her, okay, I want to get better at math, or I want to become better in English. And let me tell you, she was struggling with math. And now, part of her plan was to become better. And now she's much better with math. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now that we have our notebook or a blank page here, I'm going to grab some palette, some colors in here. And I want to have maybe a cool palette this year. While you're grabbing your supplies, there's another thing that I want you to think about. I want you to think about your word for the year. Okay, so word for the year could be simple as breathe. You want to be more intentional, truth, hope, love, family. So think about your word of the year, because that's what we're going to letter today in our notebook, because that word of the year is something that will represent your year. My word of the year for this year of 2022 is progress. I want to have progress with everything I'm doing, whether it's a personal, whether it's mentally, and career. I just want to have progress, because last year, 2 years ago, my word was rise. I want to rise from just everything, hardship. I want to come out of it more alive, more hopeful, more successful. And so this year, my word of the year is progress. So please think of your word of the year, because this is what we're going to put in the first page. Confidence. I love that, Natalie. Yes, and I will share here with you what the name of the planner is, and you can just, guys, Google that one. I shared it on the chat. Okay, hope. I love hope. All right, so now that you have your word of the year, if you don't want to ruin your first page of the notebook, you might want to grab a piece of paper first as a scratch paper, and that's what I'm going to do. My word of the year is progress. So I want you to just letter it, whether it's script, whether it's a brush lettering, however you want to letter that word. You can do it. You can do it as big as you want, as long as it's going to fit in the page of your notebook, then do that for me. I love using a pencil first when I'm doing any type of brush lettering, because I want to make sure my letter or my word is going to fit in the page. So if you have any pencil, I'm using a mechanical pencil from Faber-Castell. So just kind of letter it. You can do it cursive, you can do it a print, but let's start with a word of the year. This is one of the most important thing about having a vision board. You want to start with that word of the year. No, you don't have to, but I love having a word of the year, because something that I can focus and all that. Sparkle. Oh, yes, yes, I love that. Purposeful. Freedom. Good for you, Kim. I love that. Peace. Yes, Jana. Amen. I love peace. Okay, so mine is progress. All right, so here we're going to write it. I'm just going to go for it here. Let's use this pencil. So as you can see, I'm just writing light. When you're using your pencil to create a scratch, just go as light as you can, because I know I'm going to erase this later. So here we go. And if you are struggling with your brush lettering, having a scratch or just a sketch of that drawing or your letter always help, because then you know exactly where to go. right? So I have my word progress. I'm gonna go bring this just a little closer so you guys can see. Grateful, practice, true, creativity, productive, abundance. I love all your words. Joy, yes, faith. I love it. All right. Okay, so have you drive? I love drive. Renewal. Perfect. Okay, you guys are so good at this. Ease. I love that, Mary. Okay, so now that I have my word of the year, um, you can adorn this with different types of patterns. The patterns that I love to create are simple florals. Now, I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of names. I just love looking at flowers, but to be completely honest with you, I'm not familiar with a whole lot of name of flowers. So, but to me, as long as it looks like flower, there's a petal, there's some leaves in there, okay, then it looks like flowers to me. Did you see how I created that flower? I just made four, one, two, three, four hearts. So let's try that again. We'll create a kind of like a skinny looking heart. That's one heart. If you need to move your paper, we're going to create another heart. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nature is imperfectly perfect. So I'm just showing you that you can flip your notebook or your page if you're struggling a little bit. You can do this. Just draw some hearts, right? And I'm going to draw another heart. Okay. And I'll fill it in with another one. Here we go. Now we have my floral. Now for the middle part of your flower, you can just fill it in with the same color, or you can pick up another color if you like. I usually like using just a black one, and I love to put in some dots in the middle like this to add some visual interest to your flower. See, there we go. I'm going to do the same thing here just so you can see what it looked like. There, very, very simple, super simple. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do with my flower is I'm going to add a little bit over here, fill in the space on this side and on this side as well, okay? So for my word progress, I'm going to use a brush pen, and this is the Faber-Castell Indenthrine Blue 247. And if you are interested in learning some brush lettering, we have another class. I think this is the perfect opportunity to plug that. We have another class here with Michael's, and we're going to learn all about brush lettering. So make sure to sign up for that one, and I can't wait to see you for that next class too. Okay, so for brush lettering, there are just simple two strokes that you have to remember. There's the downstroke, which is your thick strokes, and the upstroke, which is the thin strokes. Yep, you're going to hear me say that a lot next week, all about the strokes. I'm going to do it here first. Every time you would write towards your body, this is where you apply some pressure in your brush pen. But before that, what's really important is the way you hold your pen as well. The way you hold your pen will really help for you to get the thick stroke like this. This is where I'm applying pressure. And my pen, look, I am using the whole body of that tip of that brush pen like that, right? And so every time you would go away from your body, this is your upstroke or your thin stroke. Okay? And then towards you, apply pressure for your thick stroke, like this, right? And then so away from me, thin, towards me, apply my pressure, and then just like that. So do it upstroke. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to my notebook. Woo! All right. That's why sketching helps a lot because I know that I can fit my whole word in here and I don't have to worry about it because I personally write slightly bigger than some other people. So I'm always very careful about that. So sketching really does help me a lot to just plan my composition or my letters. Here we go. So I don't want you to stress too much about this lettering, especially if you're working on your vision board really for some progress for next year, then just write it. It's your handwriting. I want you to embrace it, but like any other skill, brush lettering is another skill that you can absolutely get better at with practice. Here we go. So what I like to do is just kind of like make parts of the ending parts or the like here, make a little thicker. So I'm just adding another line and then I'm going to fill in that area over there and just kind of thicken the strokes where the line ends. Over here too, I'm just gonna add a little bit more here. Now, the beautiful thing about the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, the Pitt Artist Pens, they don't bleed in your pages because these are India ink and the India ink are just super vibrant and there's no smell. I don't know about you, but I am really, um, I don't like inks that have yucky smells and it gives me a headache. Instead of me enjoying using this marker, it's just not, and it's not fun because of that yucky smell. So the India ink will not bleed through, you know, no bleed through of the ink. So I love that. Okay, so we have the word progress. Now I'm going to use my pink carmine. Is that how you pronounce it? 127. And we're going to create those florals. So instead of big florals, yes, you can, Tiffany is asking if you can put in your word of the year in the middle part. Absolutely. The reason why I have my word of the year on top is because I want to write a little bit of journaling, some journal post about the word progress, why I picked that word, what I'm hoping to accomplish, how it's going to help me with my progress, ironically, with my progress for the whole year of 2022. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of decoration in here, some visual interest, adding my florals. And I showed you how I create my florals, just adding some heart shapes in here. Okay, nothing fancy, very simple, but it really does add a whole lot of fun and then that visual interest in my page. And plus, it's super pretty. Flowers are super pretty. Now, you can choose to use just one color, or you can choose to use as many colors as you please. One here. I just keep adding hearts in there. And I'll do the same here. Pause and slow down, look at your word, how you've written it down. If you have like spaces in here that you want to fill in, you can definitely fill it in with just a few patterns. Patterns that I love to use are florals like this. I love to add like just heart. I love to use asterisk. I love to use stars. I love to use X or plus or just some irregular, imperfect circles like this, ovals like that. So those are just samples, or you can add some few dots. I want you to just use your creativity and whatever it is that, makes your heart smile, then go for that. I love the florals for this one, especially it's kind of like my first page in my notebook, and I want it to be just as pretty because every time I would open this up, I would see this page right here. This will be the first page that I'm going to see. I'm just going to add some flowers in here. Okay. And then we're going to add some leaves. Um, don't know about what colors I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use the May green, but this one is in a super fine tip. As you can see, it's really, really small. I love using the super fine to write as well because I have heavy hands and like what I've mentioned earlier, I tend to write super big. And so the super fine tip really does help me and regulate the size of my lettering. So, and plus it is archival. I know that my journals and my planners are going to last forever. I don't have to worry about it, getting wet and then losing all my information in here. So this is waterproof. So I love sharing all these fun things about the Pitt artist because these things are very important to me because especially when I'm working in my journal, because like what I said, I want it to last me forever. It's something that I'm going to look back on like many years from now. All right, so I'm just going to add my leaves here. Did you guys add some florals in your pages as well? Here we go. As you can see, my leaves are just super, super simple. I'm not trying to do any type of fine art in here. Yes, definitely, Kimberly, they are waterproof. So if you plan on adding like a little bit of watercolor in here, after, just give it some time. Give it just a little bit of time of drying time, but it dries really fast. But just, if you're not in a hurry, then just give it some time to just let it dry. Especially also if you're using some notebook or a paper that is just slightly coated, always just give it a little bit of time to dry before you add some watercolors in here. Okay, so then I have my word progress. It's kind of like delete everything. I delete. Do you do that too? I always say that when I need to erase something. I've gotten so used to using an iPad and a phone, and I'm like, oh, I need to delete this. Late. No, that's not the word. It's erasing it. So here we go. So progress. I'm gonna leave this one. How am I gonna do this? This is actually my planner. I waited for you guys for me to set this up because I wanted to do this with all of you. Okay. So all right, now that I have it here, what am I actually gonna do? You can add the word vision board on top, although maybe you know it already, but I'm just gonna do it just because. So I'm just using the light indigo 220. I could just kind of add like a rectangular box here on top. All right. The eraser, oh, that eraser is the one that came and with the pencil. So here, look how cool this is. That's all. I love using it. Okay, so I'm gonna write the word vision board on top, and then I'm gonna use the same color that we use, the indanthrene blue, but this one is in the super fine tip. And I'm just gonna add the words vision board. Okay. Vision board. Yeah. Now, if you have added your word in the middle, that is absolutely fine. You can use the top one as, as you're journaling about the word if you'd like. Something that I want you to really sit down for that. I'm not going to do it on camera today because that's something that I really want to slow down and pay attention to what I'm going to talk about this word of the year. So, but let us proceed to the next page. Now, remember earlier, I asked you to categorize your goals for the next year. Home, personal, and work, or career and all that. So when I'm doing any type of planning in my notebook, as you can see, sometimes I like to use a ruler just to have things straight. Most of the time, not really. I kind of like just have everything just like this, like that. Um, So here I have some of my daily pages in here in my planner, and I don't have, lines and things like that. But I know not everybody is the same. This one, I didn't use a ruler, just kind of used the marker, just kind of use the pencil first. And that's what helps me is just lightly sketching with the pencil. Oh, someone's asking if there's a bleed through. No, there's no bleed through. This notebook is really, really thin. Think of it just kind of like in your Bible, the paper in your Bible is super thin. This is the Hobonichi is kind of the same. It's super thin, but I have no bleed through in here or anything like that. So no bleed through. All right. So, okay. So for the first page here, I'm going to do personal and I'm going to do 2. So I'll write here work and home. That's what I'm going to do. So to have 2 areas in here, I think I'm just going to use my pencil first to kind of lightly sketch. Just a rectangular shape, but the corners are a little bit rounded. Instead of having like sharp lines in the corner, I'm just going to make it slightly rounded like that. All right, so we're just going to create 2 areas in here. If you want this is the one that we're sketching right now. I'm just using it to use it as a border for my personal goals and my career goals. So I'm going to have 2 areas in here. Now, if you want to use a ruler for this one, please, by all means, you can definitely. But with me, I'm just kind of super like go for it kind of person. But still, I'm using a ruler. Not a ruler, but a pencil. All right. So I'm going to have here work and then home here because I think I have more for my work. All right. So now that we've lightly sketched, yes, absolutely. It is a Japanese notebook, the Hobonichi. All right. So I'm going to use the same color for my borders, but I'm using the brush tip and I'm just gonna carefully, not really carefully, but just go for it like this. I'm just pausing in between. One thing I've noticed is when I'm trying to make a straight line, the slower I go, I feel like it gets worse. It's just gives me this jiggly wiggly line. But the faster I go, I feel like it works much better for me. Again, it might not work for you, but I'm just sharing just in case you might want to try. There we go. Woo. I'm just going to erase my lines later. Let's just leave it in there. Now, I'm just going to use the same color, that light, and I'm going to add just on my left side. I'm just going to use the brush tip and do this. Like we're going to add some drop shadow in here. Like that, just to give it a little bit of visual interest here. I'm going to stop there. So just on this side, left side. See that? Yeah, you can skip this one if you don't want to, but to me, it just adds a little bit of that extra oomph. But we're going to add some flowers in here also. All right, there we have that. I'm going to use the same color and I'm just going to like create this. If you have some highlighters, you can do that too, but sometimes the highlighters, they smear, so I just like to stick with my Pitt Artist Pens because it's been tested and I know that it's going to work well. So I just kind of stick with what works for me. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, so you can add the word home or work and career. I'm going to just use my super fine tip with the same color that I used for the borders. And this time, instead of print, I'm going to just cursive write or script. I'm just going to add home in here. You can letter it however you'd like. That's the word home. And here I'm just going to have work. We can use also the words personal, and the word career. Here we go. Now, I read something that when you're planning, for example, my goal is to clean the garage. I'm just, using this as an example, okay? So my goal is to clean the garage. They said that goal is a little too big. You want to break that down. And I'm like, at first, I'm like, what does that mean? It's just to clean the garage. Because when we're thinking of cleaning the garage, it's just kind of like too big. The way it works is that you should break that goal. Let's say buy boxes, for example. Okay, I'm just throwing examples here. Buy boxes to put away toys. Start with the toys, or um, um, get some plastic bags to put away old clothes. I mean, break down your big goal. And I think that's what helps me when I'm working with anything when it comes to organizing or whether it's planning and stuff like that. Break down your goals. Maybe it's a little too big because you don't know where to start. So start with something small that's going to help you to begin that goal. So instead of saying, I'm going to go clean the garage, maybe start sort toys, sort old clothes, get organizing bins, and stuff like that. So break down those goals. And that's how I want you to do your vision board is I want you to be very detailed. If your dream is, I want to be popular, what do you mean popular? Do you want to be popular at school? Do you want to be popular online? Do you want to be, So I want you to be very specific with your goal. I want to work with Faber-Castell. That's my goal, so write that down. Or I want to get a job I want you to write that down in your goals. Okay. So I hope that you were able to see this marker that I use. It's the light indigo 220. I love using that because it's, it's there, but it's not there. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. So I want to decorate this page over here. All right. Because I want to be productive and I want to be creative at the same time. And I think that's the beauty of using a bullet journal or a planner is that you can go as simple as you wish, or you can just go and be as creative as you like. I want you to remember that this is yours. I want you to make it yours. If you don't like the flowers, because I'm really not a floral type of person, then add stripes by all means, or add circles, or don't add anything. So I want you to personalize this because the more personal you get, I think you get so attached to it that you're almost embracing it. I want you to embrace your notebook. I want you to embrace your handwriting. I want you to embrace your style and uniqueness because we are all different. Okay, so I'm going to use the same color that I used for my floral, and I'm just going to draw some flowers in here. All right. Yes, absolutely, Donna. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. Smart goals, yes, specific, measurable, attainable, because you want to be not overwhelm your brain when you're planning. It's not like I'm going to clean the whole garage. Oh my God, that's absolutely overwhelming, So start with something small, and that's really something that worked for me. All right, so I'm going to add some flowers where I have some spaces in here. All right, I love that you guys are sharing in the chat. all your goals, because it just, makes it fun when you share it with somebody. I honestly think so. One of my goals too is to just have a progress with my artistic ability, because this was not, unfortunately, it was not a gift for me. It was more of a learned skill, like the brush lettering and, the doodles and all that. I was not born with this, my gosh, gifted hands that can just whew, create beautiful things. It's a learned skill. So I want to continue my progress when it comes to that. And so that's one of my goals. Progress when it comes to just, continuing having a great relationship with family. Um, I think that's a beautiful goal to have. My kids are growing up, and, every day is different, and every day is such a blessing. So we just go have to embrace that. Life is too short. And I think this pandemic taught us that, to really just enjoy our everyday. Here we go. Yes, I want you to write your goals in here, you know. So my work here is to inspire you and to give you ideas how you can work with your vision board. um, you don't have to do this as I am doing it right now. It can look different. You can have hearts in there instead of a rectangular border like this. You can have a whole page, everything's, do it differently. I want you to have fun. Okay. So I'm going to use my Pitt Artist Pen in a 1.5 or a bullet tip like this. This is the black color, and I'm just going to add some dots in the middle of my flowers. So just using the tip of my pen, just slightly using that tip and creating some small dots. Here we go. So you guys can see that. Here. All right. Did you just use the same colors for your florals? Did you use many different colors? You can actually create like a border also, maybe cover, the whole thing with some flowers, maybe cover the whole page with that same floral designs. That would be lovely. And I might actually do that later because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I might finish up with a different look than what I'm doing right now. Um, you can add something right after you created it. I'm going to add some leaves in here using this marker. Again, don't forget about our class for next week. It's going to be brush lettering, and I am obsessed when it comes to hand lettering. And so I hope you will be able to join us again for next year. Next year? Did I say next year? I mean for next week. Be able to join us again for next week. That is January 12th is for the next class. So make sure to check out Michael's website for you to register for that class. And then for next month, we have so much in store for a class lineup with Faber-Castell and Michael's. It's going to be super exciting. So don't forget to check Michael's website for those classes. Thank you, Sharon. You are always so kind to me. I always appreciate your comments. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. So now that we have, simple declarations in here, I know I'm going to have my notes in here, like what I've mentioned to you guys. And I think I'm going to add the red. And I'm just going to create like a rectangle box in here. Just going to add the word notes in here. You can go as extra as you'd like or go as simple as you'd like. But, like always, this is your notebook. This is your work. And I think that's another progress that I want to continue for next year, actually, is progress of not comparing my work and my life to other people, and maybe it's not just me that is struggling with that, because I think with social media right now, I think it's a thing. Okay, so here I want you to share this with you. Um, I get this question a lot. Where do we add the drop shadow? Okay, drop shadow really happens is because all about your light source. So to me, my light source right now is on my top right. So naturally, my shadows are going to be over here at the bottom left of my drawing or my letters. So I'm just adding my drop shadows on my left side right now. So every left side of my letter, I'm just adding that. No, Manja, no, absolutely not. Trust me, it will improve. Because when I was first starting with brush lettering, and I'm going to show that to you guys next week. I'll have some pictures that I'll share with you. Um, as embarrassing as it is, I will share some of my past work, because I remember thinking to myself, I will never improve in this brush lettering, but it is doable, very much so. So we're going to have lots of fun next week for the next class. Get your Faber-Castell, your Pitt Artist pens ready. The brush pens is what we're going to use, because it's going to be brush lettering. So get those brush pens ready for next week. Okay, Donna, I just used the same color. This is the light indigo. So you're going to see me use this color a lot, because if I'm not using the light gray that I have, most of the time it's the light indigo that I use for drop shadows like this, because it's just so lovely, really. It's so soft. It's just a very light blue or light indigo. So here I'm just going to add the word notes. Sometimes I like the word thoughts as well. So I change it up. So sometimes I like thoughts, sometimes I write down notes. And then I'll just write down here some of my um, thoughts and for the word progress. And then here I'm going to write down my home, my work. For your vision board, you can create a list. It doesn't have to be a priority. It doesn't have to be this is the first one, or you can absolutely do that by top threes. Think of the top threes first and say, this is what I want to do first. This is the second priority, and this is the third one. And the same thing goes for your work or your career. You can do that. What I like to do is I honestly like to just do words. For example, home, I will say organize better, because I'm always so busy, and it's always that mom guilt that I'm not cleaning enough, or I'm not organizing enough, or spend time better, or less stress. These are the things that as humans we all go through, and so we all have different goals, we all have different dreams and plans for next year. So that's the reason why I left it blank, because I want you to write down what is going to work for you, and what is it really that you are wanting to put your focus on for 2022. But whatever it is, whatever your plan is for the year of 2022, I want you to know that no dream is big. You can go as big as you want if you are willing to put in time, effort, and dedication. With add some sprinkle of faith in there, and know that you're going to make it. It's just put your focus on where you put your focus on, where you put your energy. That's where your intention goes. So I want you to really put your focus on the things that you want to accomplish and put your focus on the good things, because the more you think about the good things, that is what you're going to attract into your life. So don't think about the stress. So remember that what you think about all the time is what you're going to attract. So if your dream for this year is to become more creative and do a lot more fun stuff and add some hobby, because this is the right time. You're never too old to start a new hobby or learn a new craft or things like that. And if that is your goal, and then you're in the right place with Michaels and Faber-Castell. That's what we're going to create this year. Is we're going to have lots of fun with creativity, and at the same time, build a community. And that's my next thing that I'm going to say is make sure to follow Faber-Castell USA online on social media. My name is at Mommy Lay. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. If you have any questions, um, if you just want to say hi and chit chat, please reach out to me. I would love to see your progress. Love to help you with any of your questions, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with math. I'm there. But, in behalf of Faber Castell USA, my name is Lay. I hope you were able to learn. I hope you were able to learn something today. Um, Took some inspiration from what we created. It was a nice chat. Thank you again. Thank you, Janelle. I hope to see you again next week. Mary, thank you so much. Please stay well, everybody. Until our next class, I'll see you again. God bless you all, and thank you. Bye, guys.